Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm the Very Reverend Matthew Woodward. I am the Dean of Trinity Cathedral here in Sacramento, part of the Episcopal Diocese of Northern California, and I'm really glad to be able to welcome Attorney General Rob Bonta to us today, and Midtown Heart, who we partner with. We've got Corey Cooper, who's the president of Midtown Heart, who's going to speak in just a moment. We've been hosting a respite center since 2019. Every Friday morning, and we're doing this one on a Thursday morning. It was raining last night. It's a good time to give people some shelter and a place to get warm, and we're really grateful that we have people coming in to help volunteer for this. We also partner with Westminster Presbyterian and St. John's Lutheran, First United Methodist here in Midtown, and it's our shared faith values that inspire us to work for justice. This is one of the ways that we can do that together and to help members of the unhoused community. So thank you all for being here, and I'm going to invite the president of Midtown Heart, Corey Cooper, to say some words.
Thank you, Matthew. I also want to thank Attorney General Bonta and his staff for being here today. All of us at Midtown Heart are really excited to have you here today to join us and participate in our volunteer work. Each week, we host upwards of 400 people experiencing homelessness at our 4 respite centers here in Midtown. We provide a comforting indoor space, coffee and beverages, hot food, takeaway lunches, clothing and protective gear, supplies, showers, bathrooms, cell phone charging stations, and other essential services that we offer through partners that attend our respite centers. This is all accomplished through the dedicated work of approximately 50 volunteers and no paid staff. Additionally, also, as Matthew said, I want to give thanks and recognition not only to Trinity Cathedral, which is where we are today, but to First United Methodist, St. John's Lutheran, and Westminster Presbyterian churches here in Midtown. Each of them help provide indoor spaces, donations, and volunteers to help Midtown Heart operate these respite centers. So once again, thank you for being here today, and thank you, Rob. I'll turn it over to you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you. Well, good morning, and let me just thank Mr. Cooper and Dean Woodward for your kindness, your welcoming of us and our participation today, our California DOJ team that's here today. I appreciate the opportunity to collaborate and partner today in this season and spirit of giving. And wonderful to be here in Sacramento. I know my team is excited to get to work shortly and roll up our sleeves. We're at your service. I know that at 4 different respite centers throughout Sacramento, including one right here at Trinity Cathedral, Midtown Heart is doing the critical work that we were just discussing, providing free personal hygiene items and supplies, food and blankets, bus passes, and more to those experiencing hardship or facing crisis. And that's good work. That's important work. Helping our neighbors, giving to others, helping those who are having challenging circumstances, and believing in our collective future, us and we instead of I and me. And that spirit of giving is something we really want to uplift today. As Matthew and Corey just shared, this organization is a lifeline. It serves over 1,000 individuals experiencing homelessness annually. But it's important to remember that that is a statistic. It's a big number, but every one of those numbers represented in that statistic are real people, real families, folks whose lives are getting better because of the work at Midtown Heart, because of the volunteers who are giving, who care about them, who are serving them. And so I'm thrilled that after this press conference, my colleagues and I will be able to make some delicious sandwiches with the staff and volunteers here and roll up our sleeves and serve. Fortunately, we will not be alone this holiday season in serving, in giving back to our communities. People across all walks of life in Sacramento are generously contributing their time, their energy, and their money to support incredible causes like this one. Everybody can give something. And many folks have things that are not being used by them, valued by them. Maybe they would be tossed out, but they can be very valuable to someone else. Clothing or extra items that can be part of a hygiene kit. Whatever it may be, everyone can give something, and people can give their time too. So if you're so inclined to give back to your community during this time of year or any time of the year, I encourage it, and it makes us better, it makes us stronger. The contributions that are given by Californians are really important. As so many families are struggling to make ends meet, they can really be lifelines for those families. With inflation, a shortage of affordable housing, and higher grocery costs this time of year brings more stress than joy to so many. And in Sacramento alone, at least 6,600 people experience homelessness on any given night. More than 448,000 people are at risk of hunger. So significant need right here in Sacramento for the things that Midtown Heart is providing. That's why volunteering with and donating to charities like Midtown Heart is so worthwhile. So I'm here today to both encourage that generosity and to help Californians do so safely. So one of the things we do at the California DOJ is we protect consumers. We protect them from scams, from frauds, from being taken advantage of, from being deceived. And as you give, if that's something you're inclined to do, it's important to be aware of best practices and some of the scams and frauds that are out there so you can avoid them. So before writing a check or pulling out your credit card, sending money through Venmo, please do your due diligence to protect yourself from those who try to take advantage, unfortunately, of your generosity, to make sure the generous contribution you're making is received by its intended recipient. As the primary regulatory and oversight body of charities operating in our state, my colleagues and I have learned a thing or two about scams and frauds over the years, and we want to share some of that learning with you today. So today we have 8 useful tips that every Californian can follow to avoid being scammed while donating this holiday season. For starters, first and foremost at the outset, check the registration status of the organization you are donating to. All charities in the state of California are required to register with the California DOJ and file an annual financial report. We have a registry search tool. It's on our website at oag.ca.gov. Under the charities section, you can look up any charity that you're seeking to give to and make sure that they are in good standing, are up to date, and fully, lawfully able to operate to provide their services and to receive donations. Tip 2, give to organizations that you trust. Always do your research before donating. Make sure that the organization that you're giving to actually provides those direct services and puts a significant amount of their funding towards those direct services that you are seeking to support. You can look at our charity's website or their financial reports to identify how much they spend on overhead versus how much they spend on direct service. The amount can vary, but most charities do spend most of their funds on their charitable mission, on their charitable programs. Tip 3, don't be pressured by telemarketers. Telemarketers will call you, they'll pressure you to donate and donate now. If you're not comfortable, you can always hang up. You can say no thanks. And if you are interested in learning more about that organization or even donating to it, you can always, on your own time, at your own pace, and in your own way, go to that website or contact the charity directly and learn more if you need to and give a donation if that's what you wish. Tip 4, and this is important, the next 2 tips are about deceptive practices. Watch out for lookalikes. Scammers often purchase similar looking websites or create fake email accounts with the intention of tricking the potential donor into donating to a lookalike website for a fake charity or to steal your information. As an example, there in the past was a website, UNICEF COVID-19 relief.com. Had that great UNICEF name in the website, and they wanted you to think that they were the UNICEF that we all know and love. They are not. They were not. The real UNICEF is at unicef.org. This was a site that we had to shut down for fraud in 2021 after impersonating the real UNICEF. Tip 5, make sure you're donating to the organization you intended. Some scam organizations use names deliberately and intentionally that closely resemble those of well-established charities that have great brands. Take, for example, the American Red Cross of California. It sure sounds like the Red Cross that we have all come to know, love, and support, but that was actually the name of a now defunct organization DOJ ordered to cease and desist back in 2019 for misleading donors. Tip 6, be wary of scams on social media. We're all online all the time. Unfortunately, scammers know we are, and they're there too. So if you see a solicitation in your feed, take a moment to make sure the charity or the fundraiser is legitimate. Make sure that the funds will actually go to a charity, not the person who created the crowdfunding site. In 2022, we had an individual who set up a GoFundMe for donors claiming to be collecting money for a man experiencing homelessness. Many folks, out of their own generosity and having good hearts, gave. He raised $400,000 from donors through that GoFundMe. Unfortunately, that money did not go to the man experiencing homelessness. So make sure that the intended recipient of your funds are the ones that actually receive it. Tip 7, protect your identity. Never give your social security number or other sensitive personal information when you're donating. Never give credit card information to an unfamiliar organization. And finally, our last tip, be careful when making digital donations. Anyone can generate a QR code, buy a card reader, send a text message, make a graphic. It might seem legitimate, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're legitimate. Always confirm that your donation is going to a real charity and double check that everything is correct on your receipt or credit card statement afterwards. So just a few tips, best practices we've learned having seen some of the frauds and scams that are out there. I say this to make sure that when you do donate, you can donate successfully. I'm not here to scare you away from being generous this season. It's actually the opposite. I want you to be generous, and I want your generosity to be fulfilled and delivered in the way that you intended. So we want to make sure that your generosity is able to do the good that you intend. I want to make sure all Californians are able to give back without getting hurt in return. So as I close here, my office works every day to protect you from fraud and deception. We do it in many different ways, and every donor in California is a partner in this work. If you believe a charity or fundraiser is engaged in misconduct, please report it to us. We're a large organization. We have teams in many places. We know a lot about what's happening, but we don't know everything. And you can help us help those who may be victims of frauds or scams by reporting any misconduct that you believe a charity or fundraiser is engaged in to my office at oag.ca.gov/charities/complaints. And for nonprofits seeking resources, best practices, and tips to avoid falling victim to scammers and fraudulent practices, you can have a look at our guide for charities that the DOJ puts out. Some good information there and a resource to have a look at if you're so inclined. I'm grateful, again, to everyone who is able to donate their money, their time, their services this holiday season. That's what this time of year is all about. Midtown Heart and so many other California charities rely on your help, your support, your heart. And you can help make all the difference in this time of year when so many folks are struggling in our community. So I want to say thank you for all who have given, plan to give, will give. I want to make sure you're able to give successfully without being misled. And I thank all of our charities who roll up their sleeves and put their heads down every day to do good work on behalf of our community. With that, I'm happy to take any questions that there might be.